This is my poor old four-wheeler. It's a 1995 model. It's been used. It's a farm implement, if you want to say. But this is my fence building and repair setup. I made these little bars to go onto the back of the four-wheeler. I've got these little pins I can take the roll off with. I've got the some pipe slid over it to keep it spaced out. Well, I can just tie this off and drive off and pull it, unroll it off of this reel. This is a fence stretcher. You've probably seen some of these in farm stores. If you have a break in your fence, you would put one side of the broke fence in here, and it would clamp down on it. It's got little teeth notched in it, and the other side is the same way. It would go inside of here, and you would use this lever, and it has a ratchet effect, and it would pull together towards the middle. That way you could splice your fence back. I'll try to get an example of that. I've got several pieces of broken fence I know I need to repair. Front is just a plastic tote box I found that would fit on the front rack of this four-wheeler. I've just got some straps here to tie it down with, keep it from sliding around. But inside, I've got my fence fixing supplies. I've got a couple of different types of gloves in here. I've got some cotton gloves and some leather gloves. I've got a pruner that would fit inside of it to trim back any tree limbs or anything that are in my way. This is a crimper. As you can see, it is not a bolt cutter, as it has a gap on the end of it. Now you could cut some wire right down here at the very bottom, but this is for crimping wires. And that little fence stretcher, and this is your crimp sleeve. What you would do is, when you get both of your wires together, you slide this over your wire, and you would slide the other section of it inside of it. Then you would crimp these down to lock it down. And I'll try to do a video of how that works. Different sizes of these for the diameter of your wire. These ones here are for the 14.5 gauge bob wire, like I use. And they make one for a high tensile wire that I don't like, but some people like it because it's already stretched. Try to get one of these out. But as you can see, it's smaller. You couldn't get those 14.5 gauge wires through there, two of them, but you could the high tensile or a smooth wire that people like to use for horses and things like that. But there are different brands of those sleeves, and I like the Splice It brand. That's I've had some of the other ones that manufacture them, and they have a split in them, and if you crimp them wrong, they'll break and fall off. But I carry a can of wasp spray in case I get into some wasps. Got some lineman pliers, chainsaw tool, some slip lock, just a few hand tools. I carry a couple of bottles of water in there in case I get hot. Got a set of fencing pliers, So I also have a little hammerhead on the end of it in case I need to peck a staple back in or something. I carry a little hammer in there. It's just whatever you think you're going to need to fix your fence. I also carry some small chain. I need to wrap around something, fasten it. I've got my hot wire fence checker. I've got one little section of hot wire between me and my cousin. That's just kind of the things that I found I need when I'm fixing fence. This lid is waterproof. It keeps the rain out of it. And I'm pretty mobile with this. You know, I can get into some rough areas. It's got a trailer hitch on it. Also got a little trailer that I pull behind it sometimes. It's a homemade fence post puller. You can see these at farm supply stores. Well, this one here is just homemade. It's got a handle on it, and this piece right here would slide on your post. This post is not in the ground, but as you can see, it would hook up underneath those little tabs. It's not sitting on there exactly straight, but you push down on the handle and it would lift up on that post. I don't want to drive a post in the ground. Just to show you that, there's probably a lot of videos on YouTube you could look up and see it demonstrated live. But this is just a homemade one, and it works real good. I use these T-posts to put in my garden. I put cattle panels down the side of them, and that's what I tie my tomatoes to. And then in the fall or early spring, before I get in there and work my garden up, I go through there and pull all those T-posts up and get them out of my way. This here's a 25-gallon spot sprayer. It's a 12-volt pump on it. Got these ratchet straps that I can strap this on the back of the four-wheeler if I'm burning brush piles or something, and have me a little extinguisher there if I need to knock some fire down or something. Also, when I'm baling hay in the summer, when it's awful hot and dry, I keep this on the four-wheeler in case there's a fire in the pasture. I mainly do it when I'm baling hay, just in case I get a bearing too hot. It starts, you know, baler on fire. I can dump that bale out of the baler and hopefully get over to this four-wheeler and get the fire put out, or whoever's helping me. You know, if they see smoke, they can get on four-wheeler, get over there, and we can get that fire out before it engulfs the whole baler. That's a big concern of mine. Real possibility that you could have a baler fire. And 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to be able to pull that pin and drive off from that baler. So usually if you have a baler fire and you don't get it knocked down immediately, you're probably going to lose your tractor too. So really need to be on top of the game, watching for any signs of smoke or fire or anything. You don't want a fire in the hayfield because it can spread fast with all that dry grass on the ground.